to talk about is first I'll introduce myself. I'm Janet. I am a health coach and I work with people that want to lose weight or have an autoimmune disease or people that are just trying to stay a little healthier right now, especially as we're all in our homes and not getting out as much and it seems like healthy is getting a little bit harder. Hopefully it should be a little easier. What I'm going to talk to you tonight is about food and inflammation and where's the connection and how are they connected. So first I thought I would start with what is inflammation. So if you cut yourself, your body starts in a response to heal that heal, right? It wants to, you put a band-aid on it, but your body will start the autoimmune response immediately to fix that. If you have an inflammatory response on the inside, it's a little bit harder to see. And that's what we call inflammation on the inside. And the manifestation of internal inflammation may end up being chronic illness, joint pain, lethargy. It can be sort of a wide variety. Autoimmune disease, thyroid issues are all symptoms of some form of inflammation. So how does that happen? So inflammation, especially again right now while we're relating to COVID and isolation and quarantine and people not having their normal lives and unemployment, there's a lot of stress, and stress is a huge factor to inflammation. When we carry all that stress, our body doesn't really know how to handle it, and so it can create an inflammatory response on the inside. And then also the other factors that we look at in inflammation that can be contributing are exercising and mindfulness. How's the social connection with people? Are you eating the right foods? All those factors come into play to making our health and making us healthy. So in my certification, I'm a functional medicine health coach, which means that we look at how is the system functioning. How are you doing overall with all of those parts that I just mentioned? They're all super important. So what I thought I would do tonight is sort of take you on a journey. You can see I have a lot of things out here. What's going on this table? She has so many things out. What's happening? So I wanted to take you on a little journey of foods or items that you may have in your home that you think it's no big deal. I can use them when I want and it really doesn't matter. So as a health coach and as a, advocate for what I do, I would tell you that it matters. It really matters. And I like to think of it like your baby. You feed your baby the best food. You would never feed your baby something that had chemicals or things that you knew that were bad. But we tend to make exceptions when we get older or we just don't know. And so I thought I would just take some sort of common things that you may have in your pantry and talk about why they might not be healthy items. So the first area where I'm going to start with is oil. So there's many oils that are in our foods and especially in processed foods. And the oils that they use in processed foods, which the word right there, processed, should be your flag. Okay, it's a processed food, that means it's not good. I like to say if you don't know the ingredients on the label of something, then you probably should put that thing down. I would love it if they even had one ingredient, like I have, cauliflower. You know what that is. So I'm going to start with oil. The oils that you might have in your cupboard, like this oil, are processed oils. And again, just starting with the word processed, we know that's not good. This is a chemically derived oil. So what happens when your body takes that in, especially repeatedly over time, and vegetable oils are in so many common products, that your body doesn't know how to process it because it's not a natural substance. And our bodies were meant to take in natural foods. So you take in that oil over time, you have the French fries, you have the chips, you have the processed food where those bad oils are in them, you can then strike that inflammatory response that your body is saying, I don't know what that is, and I don't like it, and I don't know how to process it, so I have joint pain, I have headaches, I'm really tired, I'm gaining weight, and I can't get rid of it. So all of these things are factors and they're super important. So look for this, and I tell people walk away if you see that in your supermarket. So here's the peanut butter that we would think, peanut butter, no problem. But the first ingredient after peanuts is sugar, and then hydrogenated vegetable oils. So right there, stop. So if you can find peanut butter that is peanuts roasted with its own oils and a little bit of salt, that's perfect, or almond butter, whatever those butters are that you like. And one thing I coach all my clients and talk to people about, which is kind of unfortunate in a way, but our manufacturers that put the food out have made everything that is healthy not have good labels of what's actually in it. So they may have a salad dressing or crackers that look like they're really healthy, but when you start reading the ingredients, it's very difficult to, you start to really look at ingredients and you start thinking, I really have to be careful, because most of the things are labeled that look healthy, but when you read the label, they're not good ingredients. So just keep that in mind. This is one that I could say is in that category. So I love wheat thins, trust me. I'm a Triscuit girl, love them, but I don't eat them anymore because the oils that they have are not good. So this second ingredient here is sugar after the flour, and then canola oil. Canola oil is one of the most widely used oils, and it's in literally almost everything. To avoid canola is difficult. You have to really read labels. Another oil to not have is soy oil, and that's also soybean isolate is in a lot of ingredients. And those are things that you really want to avoid and not put in your body. Then again, this is in the category of oils that we just want to stay away from, the shortening. So if your recipe calls for shortening, that can be a little difficult to substitute. I'm a restaurant chef, I'm a baker, I love baking. So you may have to do a search on your search engine and see what can I substitute for shortening in my recipe. So your computer becomes your friend for sure when you're trying to figure out what can I use. Here's something that you might grab and think, awesome, I'm gonna get some hamburger, and you put this and I'm making dinner and this is the best thing ever and it takes me 5 minutes. And your ingredients here are cornstarch and palm oil and vegetable oil and just all kinds of things so my encouragement here is get your bag of pasta that you know is good for you. Get your jarred marinara sauce, check the label so it doesn't have corn syrup in it. Put some cheese. You can saute up some hamburger on the side. You've got the same exact thing, and you're not getting the bad ingredients that they're adding in there for you. So go for the whole ingredients every time. This is another box of Cheddar Bay biscuit mix, and this has the flour and then the palm and soybean oil and a lot of other preservatives. So I think that the good thing is nowadays, with having a search engine at hand where you can just look up recipes, it makes it really easy to look up cheddar cheese biscuits. And it's probably going to call for flour, a stick of butter, a little bit of salt, some cheese, a little pepper maybe, some cayenne pepper. So it couldn't be easier than that. The mind trick is, oh, this is easy, it's already made for me. The difference is maybe 5 minutes of walking in your pantry, getting your flour, getting your baking powder, getting your salt, and putting those ingredients together. I know you can do it. I tell people to use curiosity and joy in the kitchen when they're looking and wanting to make something, because I know you guys can do it. So some other ingredients that I'd like to say that are, now we're segueing out of things you should look out for into what's maybe more healthy for us. I have an almond butter. There's no added sugar or salt. The ingredients are almonds and some palm fruit oil. Now palm oil is sort of on the category of maybe having it. It's more of an environmental thing rather than dangerous to our body. because of the way the oil is harvested and it's taking away the land. So that's a call on your part if you want to buy it. And then I have oils. Everybody always asks me, well, then what oils do I use? So I use coconut oil and avocado oil. And also, again, on the disclosure list, to make sure that you watch the avocado oil, that it actually is only avocado, 100%. Some of them are blended, and you end up getting an oil that is not avocado oil. So make sure you really always have to check the label for everything. Check the label. This is an olive oil from a maker here in Tucson, and it's a fabulous olive oil. If you have olive oil places that you can go, like boutique olive oil, you're going to get the best product possible. I also get questions about cooking with olive oil, and if you keep the temperature in the medium-low range, then I use the olive oil. I use it for my vegetables and things. If you're going in a higher range of frying, the avocado would be a great one. It has a low burn rate, and so, or a high burn rate, you can have your heat up and it's going to keep the integrity of the oil. With the olive oil, you're going to burn off some of the goodness that it has because it doesn't thrive as well at a higher heat. So I hope that helps. And then some other things I keep in my pantry to keep at home all the time are some chicken stock or vegetarian stock if you like that. Collagen is very good. It's kind of trendy right now. Collagen, you hear about putting collagen in everywhere. It's really good for our joints and health, and so you can throw a scoop into your shake. You can put it in a recipe if you're doing baked goods and add a little bit of extra immune fighting power in there, so that's great. Use that collagen. And then coconut milk is a great non-dairy alternative. I use coconut milk as my dairy, and I get the coconut milk in cartons and then this kind of canned coconut milk. The difference there is the coconut milk in the carton is going to be a little bit more added water. Again, you may be getting tired of me saying it. Check the label. So if there is added sugar on the coconut milk and you don't want that sugar, just get the one that's coconut milk and water and nothing else. I'll use this for my lattes. I use it if I make ice cream. I use it for everything. So this really is a go-to product for me. Canned tomatoes, if you like them, keep them on stock. I also try to go for organic. This is an Italian brand that I like. So just to watch the tomatoes where they're coming from. And then some anti-inflammatory spices. So that's really important also, and you can put spices in so many different things. I'm sure you guys all do use your spices. So this is something that I found. I really am fond of going to like TJ Maxx or Marshall's and going to their home goods section and getting some of their kind of offbeat things. And I found this turmeric tea, and what's in it is turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and black pepper. So again, I know all those ingredients, there's nothing scary there. I will add this to my shake. If I cook, I'll put a spoonful into a sauce to make like a curry sauce. It's delicious, it's got everything I want there. So when you see something like this and it says tea, you could think outside the teacup, as it were, and put it in other recipes that you might be making. And turmeric has awesome healing properties and anti-inflammatory properties to it. So it's a great spice to always keep on hand. You can also, at some of the grocery stores, they have the little turmeric root that you can grate or put into different products if you're cooking, making shake or putting it into a stew or mashed potatoes or something like that. Cumin is another ingredient that I love and rely on. This is probably a #1 ingredient that I go into 2 or 3 times a week. I'll put a little bit in kind of everything. I love the flavor. Some people are not cumin fans, so smell it, taste it, and again, that curiosity and joy when you're shopping, think, okay, I'll give it a try and see. It does have a deep, earthy flavor. Like cumin also, there are studies that have shown that it's got a lot of healing benefits to it, so it's a great spice. Fennel seeds, I really love fennel, so that is another thing to have. And then I was going to just share with you a couple of spice blends that I have that I really like. Again, if you're looking at spices, the spice blends, they have them all over the place, and they have many ingredients, some of them. So I guess you guys are catching a theme here. Read the label. This is a rub that I found at Costco that I really, really like. It's got a little chipotle and a little pepper and garlic and jalapeno and things in it. So it's got a nice kick. If I'm making a wild caught salmon, I'll put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of this rub on top, and then you can put the salmon on the lower shelf in the broiler and broil it for like 12 minutes. So in 15 minutes, you can make a great salmon, and it's absolutely delicious. People ask me, what did you do to that salmon? I can't make it any easier than that. And then this is a rub that I found at Whole Foods, and it's actually called a salmon rub. Same process, olive oil, put the rub on top, and this also had only ingredients that I know: brown sugar, smoked paprika, flake salt, pepper, and thyme. So when you're looking for the ingredients for your spice mixes, also make sure you're getting really good stuff. Keep on hand nuts. You can tell I've been into the walnuts. I use them a lot for baking. Nuts are really important for many different areas. They're high in omegas. They are good in fiber. They're a great snack. If you are just needing something but don't want to have something where you have to make it, I keep little snack bags of mixed nuts made up so that I can just grab it, and then I have a great snack that fills me up. It kills my cravings. They're heart healthy. They've got just a lot of really good stuff in them. Again, if we're looking at food and inflammation, nuts are your friend. Some of the nuts, peanuts and those things, I would look for organic, but I like to keep a different variety. These are actually pine nuts that I got at Trader Joe's, and they're toasted. And I really like that they're toasted, so they add an extra flavor component that I love. Now everybody's heard about green tea, and you may be tired of it, or maybe you don't like, you're not a tea drinker, but green tea has really high ingredients in it. I like to brew up maybe 5 or 6 tea bags in a big pitcher, and then I have the cold green tea to have during the week, especially now that it's so hot here. I buy a lot of different varieties of green tea. I drink it every single day. I'm always just picking out another one that I really enjoy. All right, we're getting there. And then I wanted to encourage you to have the whole foods that you know what they are. And I always tell my clients to think about eating the rainbow every day. So when you're having your vegetables, you're making your salad, you're making your side vegetable for dinner, always make sure to have a lot of vegetable color. All the different colors that you're eating have phytonutrients in them. So they're nutrient dense, which means they have immune fighting properties naturally. And this is, for me, being a lifelong cook and person that loves being in my kitchen, is such a joy that food is made to help us. So in other words, back to the oil, it's not made to help us. This isn't going to make anything in my body heal or feel better. But if I'm putting in natural fruits and vegetables, different colors every day, different varieties, you know, the broccoli and the cauliflower have the fiber and the dark leafy greens. I also have some arugula out. I'm going to make a salad later, and I love arugula. It's a little peppery. Dark leafy greens are also super good for our system. If you can try to put dark leafy greens in every single day into your body, you're going to be automatically fighting off disease as well. There's, again, tons of studies on the power of dark leafy greens and eating basic stuff. I also wanted to tell you on the meat or the protein side, the way that the farmed factory animals are raised is very unhealthy for us. So their farm factory, they are raised to gain a lot of weight quickly. They're fed food that is not healthy for them. So then they're given injections of antibiotics because they get sick. And then they're given injections of hormones to make them fat and happy so that we can have them at the supermarket to put on our grill at night. So when you're eating that food, you're eating the antibiotics, you're eating the food that they ate. I like to say that we are what we ate. So think about that. I really encourage you to only buy wild-caught fish and grass-fed meat and pasture-raised chicken. You want to put, again, back to that little baby, you wouldn't want to feed that little baby bad food. We don't want to just grab that pack of chicken off the grocery store shelf, because chances are that chicken is not being raised well and it's having products in it, again, this is about inflammation, that are firing our body, and our body's saying, wait, what is that antibiotic and what is that hormone and why do I have that and I don't like it. So be sure to watch the meat that you eat so that you can hear some pounding in the background. My husband's working in the background. So be careful of the food that you're putting in your system. I also wanted to show some resources to you of magazines that I love. This one is Clean Eating. You can see it really was perfect for my topic this month, was anti-inflammatory eating. So I really, I love this magazine, and if you need a different magazine at home, this is a great magazine, especially if you're doing an elimination diet or a keto diet. It's very much vegetable driven with low carbs. And Eating Well is another magazine that I really do enjoy. A lot of great recipes and articles. This is my food Bible. Dr. Hyman is the kind of the guru of functional medicine. He has a website, he has articles, he has a podcast, and he's super knowledgeable about all things food. And if I have a question about chicken or a question about fish, or I want to look up something about food, I can look in here. He's cited lots of studies. He has references to the articles and what he's written. He has a game plan of don't get this, get that. So this is a great book to have on your shelf if you have questions and just want more information. So it's Dr. Hyman Foods, and it's What the Heck Should I Eat? He just came out with another book that is Food, What the Heck Should I Cook? So that's a good one. And then this is a chef that I follow, and this is Real Food Heals. And he has a compelling story because he came from illness and almost death to finding out that food is his savior. And his name is Seamus Mullen, and I love this book. He's also got a podcast, and he's also on Instagram and so on. He's got fabulous recipes in here, and very good information about, especially if you're coming at it from a chronic illness or an autoimmune disease, there's great recipes in here as well. So I encourage you that way. So my name is Janet, and I like to help people to lose weight or fight autoimmune. I'm super passionate about food, you can tell, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight. I hope you learned some things, and if you are needing help yourself, my company name is here with the number 4 in between, here for you, and I would be happy to answer any questions and help you out on your health journey. And remember, during this time of COVID and quarantine and feeling isolated, to please take some time for yourself, and remember that that stress can really play a big part in keeping weight on that you want to get rid of, and bring in some mindfulness